Um, I gotta share some stuff with you guys today. It's been made very apparent to me how certain things work, and I feel like it's good for everybody to understand this because there's a lot of misconceptions going on out there as to how to resolve some of the trouble that we have as humanity, really, you know. Um, so I'll start off by saying that there's a saying. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something like this. It says, "Where your attention goes, energy flows." Okay. So what that's basically saying is anything that you put your attention to, if you put enough attention there, you're going to see that that thing thrives, it lives, it grows, or you can maintain whatever it is by putting your energy, your attention there. So I'm going to give you some examples. Okay, um, I'm doing this YouTube thing, I'm making these videos, right? So when you see people making these videos, when people get started making these videos, if they're not consistently putting their attention to learning things about how to make these videos, their channel doesn't grow. It's just how it is, you know? Unless you already know how to do this stuff and you just got the magic touch. You come on here, you start making videos, your first video, your second video, you don't continue making videos, you're not gonna have a following. Nobody's gonna, you know what I mean? So, having that said, that's one thing. I'll give you another thing. Okay. For instance, with a car, if you have a car and you don't maintain that car, you might drive it to work and drive it back home. But if you don't pay attention to that car, if you don't check the tires, you don't change your tires out, sooner or later, your tire is going to blow out. It could be one of the front tires. It might send you off the road. You understand? So, if you don't change the oil in your engine, if you don't top it off, if you don't make sure that there's coolant in there, depending on, XYZ, your vehicle's not going to continue to run properly. Now, I'm going to give you one more example. Have you ever met someone or known someone and then they get in a relationship, and as you've known them for X amount of time, now that they're in this relationship, you notice that they're not taking care of themselves very well anymore? You know, like they're just stressed out and, they're just not keeping themselves up like they used to, type of stuff. Um, that's a thing as well. So, what I'm getting at here is that people actually have to care for themselves. Okay? You are the most important in your life. I'm sorry. I know people don't like to hear that, but there's a reason I'm saying this. Okay? So think about it this way. If you don't have what you need in order to be able to get up in the morning, to be healthy, right? To have energy, to have vitality, if you don't actually maintain your body, how is your body going to do anything for anyone else in this world? I mean, go ahead, let me know in the comments. Let me know, if you don't have your body anymore, what you can do in this world for anybody else. So, having that said, I wanted to share a scripture actually. Um, Gosh, let me see if I actually have it. I probably should have it ready, right? So the scripture is Psalm 139, 17 through 18. I don't even know what translation this is, but it's just to get the point across, right? So it says, "How precious are your thoughts about me, O God? They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand. God's love for you is untamed, wild, and limitless." So it sounds like God pays attention to you. Now, through God paying attention to me, for instance, that means that God's energy flows through me. Okay? It animates me, it brings me to life. Okay? Now, I I can go ahead and follow what Scripture says. Now, I know that different people pay attention to different things in Scripture, and they follow those things that they pay attention to. That is another example, right? But I'm just going to use one as an example because um, it says in there, the greatest commandment, Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, everything, right? And then love your neighbor as self. Now, this love, because I could be talking about self-love when I say attention, to me it's the same thing, okay? When we look at paying attention to ourselves, that's self-love. When we're talking about God, we might be looking at scriptures or whatever else. Or, I mean, maybe you have a different belief system, but one way or another, you pay attention to it, you understand it, you research it, you get to know it. It's just like when you meet someone special that you really like. You always want to pay attention and learn about that person. You pay your attention, you learn, and that relationship grows. What kind of relationship would you have if you didn't pay attention? You have to have that relationship to yourself. You have to get to know yourself. You need to know what you need. I mean, what foods work for you? What type of drinks do you not drink I mean, what causes bad reactions? Are you allergic to something? I mean, do you like what do you need exactly? What do you need in a relationship? What do you need from in a partner? Like a lot of people don't know about this stuff. Like how much nutrients, what type of nutrients does your body actually need on a regular basis? Does anybody actually know, or do they just eat because they see something smells good? We don't even know ourselves. We haven't paid attention to ourselves. Oftentimes, we don't love ourselves. Now, what happens when we don't love ourselves and we don't pay attention to ourselves, we don't know ourselves, we get depressed. That's what happens. And there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of people are depressed and they don't actually realize it. They're just like, you know what, I'm struggling and I don't know why. Don't realize it's a depression. Depression, if you ask me, is an energy management issue. Okay? So God has all these numerous thoughts about us in a given day. We receive that energy from God. Now, we're told that we should go ahead and love God and create an energy loop, right? That energy is coming and going, and that love, that relationship is growing between us and God. Now, as we reach our peak in this relationship and we're full of energy, can you imagine where I'm going with this? You're full of love. Now that you're full of love, you can go and you can give your neighbor love from your abundance. It'll just spill over. A cup will overflow. You know what I mean? You can give from your abundance to so many people and still have love to offer and feel amazing while you're doing it. And so you would fulfill that command by doing so. Now, otherwise, you could not. You could not really pay attention to God. I mean, why should I, right? That's what a lot of people say. And then what happens? We cannot pick. We can just go ahead and say, well, you know what? I want to go help this person. This person needs my help. Oh, I met this person, and this person, they just need help. They just need a hand right now. Next thing you know, you're depressed, and you don't understand why. I'm telling you why. Because you are not giving from your abundance. You're not. You don't even know yourself. You don't know how to work yourself. You could sit here and think about it. What happens? Because this love, this energy, right? Just imagine you have a battery inside of you, like some other device would. If you have a device with a low battery, how well does it run? How well does it function? People get to wondering, like, why can't I focus on things? Why can't I think? You know, I'm scatterbrained, or I really just can't accomplish the things that I really want to do. Well, I'll tell you, when you can't accomplish the things that you really want to do, it's because you have low energy and your body's not functioning up to its normal optimum ability. There's a lot to all this stuff. I'm just talking about energy wise right now. I really do believe people need to understand how important this is. You have to love yourself. And most people, not going to say most, but a lot of people, um, they don't even know themselves. So take some time. Take a break. Okay? You deserve a break. Stop for a minute and take a look. Do some research. I mean, there's so many different ways. You can do surveys. You can do astrology. You can do some of these little self-help things. You can just research psychology. You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do in order to learn. You know, they have attachment styles. They have love languages. There's a lot of different resources out there for you to get to understand who you are. And after you get some of that stuff going on, you're going to feel better. Then go ahead and see where you're at. See how well you feel. And continue. Learn about God. If you do, it, whatever your religion is, okay? Whatever your belief system is, you know, learn about it. It can help strengthen you. You can grow in confidence and understand the level of love and attention that is out there that is brought down for you. And feel all that energy. Be filled with it. And from that abundance, share with others. So I'm going to be talking more about this stuff coming up because I really want to elaborate on some things as to how, the different ways that this can affect us and how we can best utilize it. Uh, but overall, I think it all boils down to us just taking time for ourselves. We love to grow our career, our job. We put all this time into our job. We can put our time into our house, the place where we live. We can put our time into our car. We can put our time into our body sometimes too. You go to the gym, you do all this stuff. There's just different things that we can do, but we just keep in mind that whatever it is that we're doing, that is what we're focusing on. That's what's going to grow in our life. The things that we're not putting our time into, those things are going to shrink. I mean, it's crazy, but um, I had my dog over here. My dog, she roams around on my property. And I always took note, you know what, I have to give her some love every time I see her. Because she would literally just be out across the way. And she would see me and she'd come up to me. But if I was busy all the time and I just ignore her and go in the house, at some point I would notice that she wouldn't even come up to me anymore. And I'd have to call her over to me. This is a dog we're talking about here. Well, I didn't pay any attention to her. She paid attention to me, But after a while, she wasn't paying no attention to me either. She was just over there. So I'd call her over and it would kind of renew things, that relationship. But there was a time that I was really busy consistently. And I remember the last time I seen her, I came in and I had a bunch of groceries in my hand. She likes my hand. She was like, give me love, right? Well, I didn't have it. I didn't give her no love. I think that night, my neighbor actually, um, he seen her, but she generally likes to stay outside. She's a real fluffy dog. She's built for it, and there's, she's got a house and covering and all this other stuff. But my neighbor let the other dog in the house, didn't let her in the house. She don't generally go in the house, you know what I mean? She's outside, she roams around. But I think she felt some kind of way. And next thing you know, she was gone. Never seen her again. It disappeared. What happened to her? I don't know. Sad. I mean, I had her for years. But nonetheless, I didn't pay any attention to her. And now she's gone. Literally. So, I don't want this to be like some kind of a sad sob video. I'm letting everybody know what you love it, pay attention to it. It's going to grow, it's going to get better, it's going to get stronger. But most of all, love yourself. Peace.